the eerie glow of the bowling alley's black lights, terror lurked beneath the cheerful neon colors. I had joined my friends for a night of competitive bowling, but little did I know that it would transform into a haunting nightmare. As I approached the lane, the air grew heavy with a musty scent. The pins stood ominously silent, their white silhouettes casting menacing shadows on the polished wood. With a trembling hand, I released the bowling ball, watching it roll down the lane and strike the pins with a thunderous crash. But as the pins fell, a strange and unsettling sound echoed through the alley. It was a low, guttural growl, like that of a beast from the depths of a nightmare. The lights flickered, plunging the alley into darkness, and I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. Suddenly, the glow of the black lights returned, casting an even more grotesque scene upon the alley. The walls seemed to close in around me, and the pins that had once been my target now appeared to be twisted, demonic figures. Their white bodies contorted into monstrous shapes, and their eyes glowed with an infernal fire. Fear propelled me forward as I stumbled towards the exit. But as I approached the door, it slammed shut with a deafening thud, trapping me inside the cursed alley. The growling intensified, now a deafening roar that reverberated through my body. Out of the shadows, a monstrous figure emerged. It was a creature of unspeakable horror, its body covered in rotting flesh and its face a grotesque mosaic of twisted features. Its claws scraped against the floor, creating a spine-chilling screech. With terrified eyes, I watched as the creature lumbered towards me, its glowing eyes fixed on my trembling form. Its foul breath washed over me, carrying the stench of decay. I could feel its icy claws graze my skin, sending a surge of terror through my veins. Desperate for escape, I turned and ran towards the opposite end of the alley. But the creature was faster than I could imagine. It lunged forward and its claws sank into my shoulder, tearing through my flesh. As darkness consumed me, I could hear the victory cry of the creature. It was a sound that would haunt my dreams for the rest of my life. The next day, the bowling alley was found abandoned, its doors sealed shut. The horror that had transpired within its walls remained a whispered legend, a chilling reminder that even in the most mundane of places, darkness could lurk beneath the surface. And so, I became the unwilling witness to a bowling horror story, a tale that would forever torment my memories. The bowling alley had become a cursed ground, a place where the echoes of terror would forever linger. In the eerie hush of the desolate bowling alley, I felt an inexplicable unease. The once vibrant lanes were now cloaked in darkness, save for the flickering glow of a single light bulb. As I approached the counter, I noticed a thick layer of dust on the aging wood. A single bowling ball lay abandoned, its surface scratched and dented. A chill ran down my spine as I reached for the ball and felt a strange vibration emanating from it. With trembling hands, I took the ball to the lane and rolled it with all my might. It crashed into the pins, sending them flying with a deafening clatter. As I watched the pins fall, I noticed something peculiar. They seemed to glow with a faint, sickly light. Suddenly, the alley filled with an oppressive silence. The pins slowly began to rise, their glowing bodies casting an ominous aura. As they reached their original positions, they started to move towards me with an eerie determination. Fear gnawed at me as I stumbled backward, desperate to escape. The pins closed in on me, their sharp points glistening in the dim light. I could hear their faint humming, like the buzzing of 1,000 insects. In a moment of desperation, I grabbed the bowling ball and hurled it at the advancing horde. It struck the lead pin with a thunderous crash, but to my horror, the pins simply absorbed the impact. They continued their relentless pursuit, their bodies now glowing even brighter. I realized then that I was trapped. The bowling alley had become a prison, and the pins were my jailers. Panic surged through me as I searched for a way out, but every door and window was barred. As the pins drew closer, I closed my eyes and braced myself for the inevitable. Suddenly, I heard a loud crash. When I opened my eyes, I saw that the bowling ball had broken through a window, allowing a faint ray of moonlight to illuminate the alley. Seizing my chance, I sprinted towards the broken window. As I leaped through the opening, I could hear the pins shattering into 1,000 pieces behind me. I ran and ran until I reached the safety of the outside world. The bowling alley loomed in the distance, its broken window casting an eerie glow upon the night. From that day forward, I never stepped foot in a bowling alley again. The memory of that horrifying night haunted me, a constant reminder of the unimaginable horrors that can lurk in the shadows. In the eerie silence of the abandoned bowling alley, I tread with trepidation. Its once festive atmosphere had faded into a haunting gloom, the air heavy with a sinister undertone. As I cautiously made my way through the labyrinthine corridors, the rhythmic click-clack of bowling pins echoed through the void. It was an unsettling reminder of the vibrant life that had once filled this forsaken place. The lanes stretched out before me, their shiny surfaces now dull and dusty. Bowling balls, once wielded with enthusiasm, lay scattered like forgotten toys. The scoreboard loomed overhead, its display frozen in time, a testament to the alley's forgotten past. As I ventured deeper into the ghostly expanse, the temperature plummeted. A chill permeated my body, sending shivers down my spine. The air was thick with the pungent smell of decay and something else, something indefinable and malevolent. Suddenly, a faint sound drew my attention. It was a low, guttural growl, like that of a wounded animal. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. Slowly, I turned my head towards the source of the noise. There, in the shadows, I saw it. A pair of glowing eyes fixed upon me, their malevolence piercing the darkness. The growl intensified, and I could make out the grotesque form of a creature lurking nearby. Its fur was matted and stained with blood, its claws sharp as razors. Its eyes burned with an unholy fire, and its teeth bared in a menacing snarl. The creature lunged at me with astonishing speed, its claws raking at my clothes. I screamed in terror and stumbled backward, tripping over a bowling ball. As I lay helpless on the ground, the creature loomed over me, its fetid breath hot on my face. Its claws pressed against my flesh, and I felt a wave of excruciating pain. In that moment of desperation, I grabbed the nearest bowling ball and hurled it at the creature's head. It struck the beast with a sickening thud, sending it tumbling to the ground. I scrambled to my feet and ran for my life. The creature gave chase, its guttural growls echoing through the alley. I could hear its heavy footsteps pounding after me, its claws scraping against the floor. I dodged and weaved through the deserted lanes, desperate to escape the clutches of the nightmarish beast. The adrenaline coursing through my veins fueled my flight, but I knew I couldn't outrun it forever. As I rounded a corner, I noticed a faint glow coming from a nearby room. With renewed hope, I burst through the door and found myself in the alley's pro shop. Amidst the racks of bowling shoes and balls, I spotted a fire extinguisher. Grabbing it, I turned to face the creature that had been terrorizing me. The beast had entered the room and was advancing on me with its claws outstretched. I aimed the extinguisher at its grotesque head and unleashed a powerful spray of chemicals. The creature let out a blood-curdling scream as the freezing liquid enveloped its body. Its claws retracted, and it began to convulse violently. As the chemicals took effect, the creature's form began to dissolve before my eyes. It writhed on the floor, its once threatening presence fading into nothingness. With the nightmare finally over, I collapsed to my knees, exhausted and shaken. I had escaped the clutches of the bowling alley horror, but the memory of that night would forever haunt my dreams. As I stumbled out of the abandoned building, the words "never again" echoed through my mind. I had faced my fear, but the price had been too high. The bowling alley would remain a haunted place in my memory, a testament to the darkness that can lurk in the most ordinary of places.